Howdy ho, y'all. 57 here, bringing you the team builder and the match, our first one of UTL Season 7. Kick things off nice. We have the draft recap, so stop a sec, watch that, and see what we had available to build with. I have our first week opponent is none other than Beardy Bennett, commissioner, founder, and great friend and competitor. Been here the whole time. Good battler. As you see on, I have his mons listed here. Ultimately, a very Benny team, Benny type team. You got that Benny type beat going on. He has stalwarts in Thunderous Therian and Superior. He has kind of Silvally, which is a kind of him feeling type mon. You know, Piloswine. Requisite bulk mons like Confederatus Altaria that are like his type of bulky pivot type mons. So we know what he generally likes to do, and we see the threats his team has. So I'm going to go into the process I had building. I realized in building this team that, and in drafting this, now this being the first match, that my team might be really reliant on Doublade in a lot of matches. I couldn't not bring it here, and obviously I need it as my steel resist for Cling Clang. I need it as like a secondary, like superior answer. I needed to threaten. I needed to, as an Altaria answer, I need to threaten things. So yeah, what we have here is a speed creep, and that gets us past. It's got past either Piloswine. I think it was Swalot. I think Swalot was the speed. Maybe Conkeldurr. I think it hits Conkeldurr, and I don't think it does get Swalot. It gets us past Conkeldurr and gets us past the other slow threats with that are no speed, speed neutral, max HP. The special defense was to take Fire Blast from Mega Altaria. So that's why we had the 2/2 and that special defense. We have a pretty standard Sword Dance Xiaoclaw set. It hits everything on his team really. Zarok or Doublade, great mon. My only qualm with it going forward is it's just going to have like a lot of matchups going to have to bring it to. It's just the fact of life. So I'm glad I like it. I'm glad that I really wanted to use this because we're all in on it. It's not going to be the 7th mod of the year. It's going to come to make games. Defensive MVP maybe? Who knows? We have Ziggy, our Zygarde. We have a bit of a fresh set here in our Camouflage set, which under no terrain, which I'm not bringing my Grassy Terrain Blue, and he has no terrain setter. It turns you into a normal type, which really messes with a lot of his anti Zygarde strategy, which would probably be HP Ice on Thunderous Therian, would likely be Ice Beam Greninja, and things like that. And of course, this way we get Stab on Extreme Speed, which is very nice. We have a Speed Creep for Magmortar to outspeed it by 1 point at max. Then the rest in HP and Spadef, since Coil helps us boost our defense and our defense and attack, and accuracy, incidentally. I don't know why more people don't run friggin' Dragon Rush Zygarde, because that would be semi-viable with Coil. It might be down the pipeline. But we don't really need Dragon Stab this matchup. The priority slash stab of Extreme Speed is nice here. Tech is nice here. 1,000 Arrows is always a nice move, especially against Thunderous Therian, which is a threat, which is something that we definitely counted. I was tempted to bring Scarf Zygarde for Thunderous Therian to see if I could catch it, but I do really like setup. I think you're limiting Zygarde's possibilities, and like it doesn't get enough good coverage. Like you can run Iron Tail, it's 2 stabs. Extreme Speed's kind of pointless on a Scarf set, so you'd run something funky like Core Enforcer or 1000 Waves or something cheesy like that. And I ain't feeling that. So that's what we ran. So this is our Zygarde set. Next, if you do not get this reference on the Toxicroak, you need to watch a friggin' movie. The movie specifically would be Seven Samurai. If I do like movie talks, I will surely talk about how fucking great Seven Samurai is. And it's named for the main character, Kikachu, because he kind of wears like a thong thing in the movie, and that's what Toxicroak's name basis is. And he's a great character. He's one of the best characters in all film. Seriously, guys, cannot stress you guys need to watch like classic film. It's great stuff. Anyway, we got Speed Creep for friggin' Altaria. This is our second Altaria thing. We have Rotom Freezy Pop as a third one. I initially had Togetic on a version of this team because that helps against Serp and it helps against Altaria, but then Rotom Freezing Pop kind of came to replace that. It does Rotom Freezing Pop does a lot down the line, but I'm talking about Pikachu, the Toxicroak right now. This is a very standard Toxicroak set with the normal Speed Creep, leftovers Numberons, Black Sludge, and then the rest in attack. This could theoretically put in a lot of work, and we will see when we get to crunch time, when we get to match time. Hits everything, really. Good Mon, good offensive Mon. What Doublade is as a Gloomon defensively, I think Toxicroak is a bit of a offensive Gloomon because basically it's perfect 3 move coverage with it. It stabs in a dark move and gets lots of dark coverage, so it's very easy to work in from an offensive standpoint. And water immunity is always nice. So yeah, Rotom Freezy Pop. As I mentioned before, this is kind of a check for a lot of things. Not a full-blown counter, but it's really kind of a Thunderous Therian check. It's a kind of Greninja check. Toxicroak's kind of a Greninja check, but Greninja can carry extra sensory, and I was scared of that. And this was where Togetic would have helped, but this felt like a little more essential, and I needed everything Rotom Freezy Pop gave me. I needed I like his Ice move to blast back things, Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch for pivoting, Defog. I'm running ICMZ, my Z move. Give a nice Blizzard blast for a buddy. So that's how it's gonna go. Once again, a Speed Creep from Mega Altaria, max HP, and the rest in Spidef. Pretty simple. Next, we have a bit of a tech set on Typhlosion. We have a Scarf, 3 Fire Moves, Focus Blast set. I'm just saying, okay, Josh. Okay, I shouldn't have said. Okay, West. What's your plan here? What's your move? Why you got 3 fire moves? Well, first of all, fire coverage is amazing against this team. He has really, in all honesty, 2. Wait, my hand. 2 fire resists. 2 fire resists. Unless he brings Silvally that resists fire. Mega Altaria, well, he has 3. Mega Altaria, Magma Order, Greninja. Greninja is very frail. Does not suck up Focus Blast very well. Magma Order, not suck up a Focus Blast great either. Neither's taken an Eruption all that well from Max. Burn Up gives me a nice tech. Though Burn Up isn't great with a Scarf set because you can only use Burn Up once. Since it gets rid of your Fire type and you have to be a Fire type to use Burn Up. It's a nice tech. It's a move I partly enjoy the mechanic of it. It's very unique, but I wish you could use it as either Fire type or typeless, so it was somewhat spammable. Otherwise, it's like kind of a weird. It's like a pseudo Z move or a pseudo hyper beam type move, and I don't know. I want it to be something usable. I don't like the in and of itself outside of meminess, and this is kind of a meme set that we ran. Final thing we're running is a Zelf. It's our stealth rocker. It's a physical threat Zelf. I will be likely running a Zelf both ways a lot throughout the season, so be on the watch for that. The speed creep is exactly for what's it for? Superior. Exactly. Get beat superior by 1, rest in attack, and then nominal couple points in HP. And it comes to a non-number, so that works out pretty well. So this is our squad. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into that. I'm going to get rid of the text on the screen. So what we see, he brought Greninja, Thundersterian, Silvally, Altaria, Swalot, and Necrozma. Right at the gate, we can see the threats he did not bring. In the form of he did not bring Superior, he did not bring Conkeldurr. So there's a couple of interesting things he didn't bring. I could see why Superior didn't come. I had a lot to answer for it. Greninja and Thundersterian obviously have potential to do a ton of work in this matchup. So we're going to see how things go. He leaves his Thundersterian. I leave my Rotom Freezy Pop. I want to pop my ICMZ because it hits everything on the team. He's not switching Greninja in on this. So I blast that off. He goes to his Necrozma, which takes it pretty well. And we're going to pivot out with a Volt Switch. Go into Doublade. He has the Iron Defense on this, so this proves an immediate problem for us. And I gotta start setting up in order to counteract this. He throws a Heat Wave, which gets a clean 2-hit KO on us. So this thing is obviously going to be a problem. I need to do some clever pivoting. So I'm going to kind of Eruption. That does less than half. Everything's just problematic. This takes on the power of my Eruption, so I'm not going to be able to put this in like a 3-hit KO range. So, Necrozma's already doing a ton of work. Big old deal, and it's really hard for me to find an answer on my team for this when it's packing Heat Wave. I didn't even really consider that. I thought it would pack, like, limited coverage. So, we managed to get the pivot right there. Get Typhlosion and Flash Fire. Hit him with the Burn Up. And this is why I wish it was spammable, because right there and there, like, we go for another Burn Up, get a clean play. But now we have to play mind games. Thankfully, Ben didn't know how it worked, and I was a little bit counting on him to not know how it works, so I'm going to double here on this next turn into Zarok, and he switches out to revealing his Silvally to be Water, which is a prudent move. Goes for Flamethrower. Missed a Gunk Shot, which is a very unfortunate play. Overall, he managed to get a Parting Shot off. I can't really leave this in on it, so I'm going to go into Rotom Freezy Pop. U-turns, he's getting a little chip. He could have Focus Blast on this, and that is a thought in my mind, but in my mind, if he has U-turn, he's probably a little limited in the coverage he could run. Like, he's probably running like Sludge Wave, HP Ice, Thunderbolt in addition to U-turn, or he's running Knockoff on there. Like, he can technically run all the coverage he needs on my team, but like his desire to pivot like cuts off a thing. So like that's a question when you're building with pivot mons. Like, do you run 4 moves that can beat everything, or do you run 3, limit yourself, but give yourself pivoting? Anyway, get a Will-O-Wisp off on this. It is special. still want the chip damage, and there's obviously the threat of Earthquake coming from a Swalot. I play random battles. I know that Swalot can do that. So anyway, going to this on the predicted Sludge Wave, and it's a nice read. He's gonna try to get Shadow Ball, and our Fairy pops. So he's gonna get a kill with Swalot, much to Bennett's pleasure. And I think Bennett should really, really swing for the fences going for Swalot as a 7th Mon of the Year candidate. Camouflage paid off, ladies and gentlemen. The tech is working as we get a Camouflage on his Ice Beam, and that does nothing on our very Spadef invested Zygarde. Unfortunately, he has Toxic on here, which, like, come on, man. Why are you running Toxic on Poison Mons? This ain't 2015. But that really limits the potential of our Zygarde here, and we do manage to blow him back and level the playing field a bit here, as we're going to take out his Valley with a second Extreme Speed. Stab Extreme Speed. We can't take Altaria out here, unfortunately, because it's a pretty bulky Altaria, and he has Cotton Guard on it. So, I have to make aggressive plays. I have to hope he doesn't, like, just attack with Earthquake there. I'm kind of hoping for a Poison here, being honest, because otherwise my options get limited. Unfortunately, Hack swings his way. Me hoping for Hacks isn't a good move anyway, but, yeah. The Swords Dance really only compensates the burn, and I missed the Gunk Shot. So we're not even don't even get our token 25% or less than that even on him. So yeah, that exchange Hack swung against us, but by this point the momentum of the battle has really gone Bennett's favor. We've managed to land a Blizzard, so something goes our way there, and missed the second one. So this is a rough. These last like 4 turns have been pretty rough from a Hax's standpoint, though my game plan has rapidly deteriorated. I have to sack Type Explosion here. Basically, I figure he had Water Shuriken. I don't want to mess around with that, and I felt preserving Typhlosion at that point was useless. He did not have Water Shuriken, and he's going to be able to clean up here. He gets a nice 3-0 win over us. So, Hex helped him a bit, but our game plan did really deteriorate by late game, so I don't think it mattered that much. Great game to Bennett, and not a good start for us in the season, but we've had plenty of losing starts to seasons before, and we've done just fine. I'm not too worried, not too stressed. So, yeah, be like me, guys. I like you, just for being you. Stay woke, y'all.